everyone joining. Thank you for joining the stream. This is another episode of Project Assemble with myself and Dwayne from Marvel Mad. How are you doing today?
Not too bad, that lot. It's a bit weird being back to the old sort of timing schedule, that lot. So it's quite just got to ease yourself back in again, that lot. I also like to show me my birthday present from last week.
Very nice.
I was quite chuffed with my X-Men '97 t-shirt, and it's a bit warm as well. The weather don't know what to bleeding do. 1 minute it's warm, 1 minute it's cold. It's tipping it down. Now I'm a bit. So yeah, I'm a bit all over the shop at the moment. But not too bad. Other than that, not too bad. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing well. It's my first, half week of my new college program, so getting into that, and then just figuring out my new schedule and trying to get used to that because it's always an adjustment when school starts. So just figure that out. So obviously today we're going to be talking about Doctor Doom, all things about Marvel's greatest villain. At least in my opinion. And we'll get into some discussion. So before we get started though, as usual with the Project Assemble, we have our icebreaker question. Who's a character that you would want most to see Doctor Doom have an interaction with in the MCU?
Oh,
just any kind of interaction.
I tell you, there's a few, to be honest. Now, I'm toying between two. Right, I'm hoping you'll go with the other one that I'm thinking of. But if not, my first thought, if he was still alive or if it's like an old variant to him or something like that, I would love to see an interaction between Robert Downey Jr. Doom and Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, old man Steve Rogers,
Old man Steve.
Old man Steve. Because it'd be like he thought he was dead and all that sort of just like dilemma in front of him. So seeing old man Steve and him, the shock could probably be killed. Old Steve, bless him, really, not but just the shock of that, I think it'll be absolutely amazing. And I could just see him. For me as well, I'd probably burst into tears in that lot because all that sacrifice and everything that happened, and then for him to be back, and then he's not who he thinks he is, and he's somebody else. And I think that'd be really good, to be honest. Just sheer shock.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I would not have thought of that at all. I think Steve might already be dead though by the time.
This is what I mean.
Happens.
This is what I mean. That's the only thing that I'm like, probably could never see it, but I'd love to see someone like that. Yeah. Even if it wasn't old Steve, I'd have a new Steve, like a variant of Captain America, something like that. But I might say my first thought, I'd love to see that old Chris Evans, just seeing that, because I think it'd be devastating, to be honest.
Yeah, because he saw Tony die there, and if he sees, for whatever reason, Doom has the mask off, and he sees his face, he's gonna be like, wasn't I at your funeral? Like,
exactly.
We saw you die. So yeah, that's a really good one. For me, I'd have to go with, obviously the most popular one would be Reed Richards, but I'd really want to see what Doctor Strange would have to say to Doctor Doom.
Oh, okay. That's not the other one I was thinking of. Okay, I'm just surprised.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Doctor Strange, he's got, obviously he's tackling the multiverse. We don't know if he's seen other variants of these characters and if he knows about this. But if this was a variant of Doom that he had no idea existed, and he sees how dangerous he is and that he looks like Tony Stark, I think he'd be really concerned about why he chose to go down that path and what led to him going down that path, because the running rumor right now is it's a Tony that went evil, but I hope that's not what they're going with.
No.
So yeah, I think Doctor Strange and Doom having that kind of head-to-head would be a very, very interesting confrontation, especially because Doom is a sorcerer as well.
Right, right. Here's a question for you then. When he was looking through all the different possibilities with Thanos and stuff like that,
Yeah.
do you think then he'd have known about alternative like realities and stuff like that and different variants? Because I can't remember before that if there was ever a mention of different variants and stuff.
There wasn't a mention of variants, but in the first Doctor Strange, the Ancient One talks about the multiverse.
Oh,
But
yeah, cool.
in that moment, when he's going through all the different outcomes, he's obviously tapping into the multiverse and seeing how many different universes they win versus they lose. And obviously, that one that they're in was the only one that they win, and the only outcome that they have. So, well, I guess you could argue it. He was only looking in this timeline, but was seeing all the different branches coming off of it with the different outcomes. So I guess there's two different ways to interpret that.
But I weren't too sure if he'd like ever mentioned, because surely when he was seeing all them different possibilities and stuff, surely he'd have known about a different like variants and stuff like that then, sort of thing.
That'd be interesting if he saw something that he kept to himself.
That's what I mean, because he's like, obviously, if you've seen different variants of different people and stuff like that, it's going to be a bit of a shock knowing them, but keeping your gob shut about it.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't really surprised as well when he travelled through them different multiverses and stuff like that in the Multiverse of Madness. He wasn't really too shocked about that.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting to come through. Do you want to know the one I was thinking you were going to say?
Yeah, sure.
Spider-Man.
I was considering that one because of just the mentor-mentee kind of relationship, and there was a rumor I saw that he's going to be trying to get Peter to join him on his side in Secret Wars.
Really?
And he's going to use the symbiote as the way to lure him to that side.
Ooh, okay. That's interesting.
I'm partly... Like, I think it would be interesting if you have the Avengers, but then you also have Doom kind of building his own team in Secret Wars. Like in the original one, it's like he's leading the villains and you have the heroes going against them. But if he can somehow manipulate the heroes into switching, or he has variants of of those heroes that went down a dark path and those are on his team. And then that
would be good.
Yeah, it's like a, I guess you could say Masters of Evil, led by Doom.
Yeah,
in that kind of way,
sort of thing, innit?
But that would be really cool if they end up doing that. That he has a team of heroes that went down the dark path like he did, and then they have that to go against the Avengers.
Yeah, that would be so cool. To be honest, I'd love something like that.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we'll get into the discussion then. I just want to show off I'm wearing my Doom t-shirt.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, it's we're in his era now, so you got to represent.
Massively.
So this is going to be mainly question-based, and then those questions will spawn a conversation. So I've got 10 questions. So my first one is, what is your favorite interpretation of the character?
Oh dear. I can never remember the comic book series it was from. It might have been the new Secret Wars. But I've always liked God Doom.
Yeah.
Just in that the white robe, just how pristine he looked, and it just looks so nice. But the sheer power of him and the sheer like awness of him, it's just like unbelievable. Did I get it right with the Secret Wars?
Yeah, though? It's Secret Wars 2015.
Secret Wars. Yeah, it is the new Secret Wars. I thought it was. But yeah, there's just the sheer like aura of him. Just like, well, how are you going to stop him? It's just the ultimate power sort of thing.
He's literally a god.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that is a variant, or just like something of that I would love to see in Secret Wars as well, in that lot. Because you always had the classic green and silver and everything like that sort of thing, but having like the God Doom, what a way to just like say he's the ultimate power at the end of
Yeah.
it. It would just be so good.
Yeah, I have to go with you on that. Like God Emperor Doom is like you can do so much with him, and if they do go down that route in the movies, that would be like if they mess it up, that would be hugely disappointing. But I hope like obviously the Russos, they care about the character and that story, so I hope they go down a more like accurate route with it, and maybe you do have him as God Emperor Doom leading that team of the like heroes that went down a dark path, that kind of thing, and kind of blend the two Secret Wars stories together.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is so good in that story. Like he literally stole Reed's family and made it his own because he knew Reed was dead. Well, he thought Reed was dead. Like he's such a savage in that too. Like rips Thanos' spine out of his body, kills Cyclops with the Phoenix Force, kills Doctor Strange.
Just them images as well, which is
Yeah.
like because the whole panels as well. Now that was just so. I'll never forget him just stood there like that with the spine. It's,
Yeah, so good in that story.
But do you think as well, for a question, if they're going to go with God Emperor Doom, do you think they should have just gone with him straight out of the bat, out of the Infinity Saga? So they had all this lot to build up to God Emperor Doom instead of having Kang. Because surely, like we've said in previous streams, surely they've got what? Is it 3-4 years, something like that?
Well, they would have planned out. I don't know if they would have had the whole saga planned out with where they're ending, but you can guess they had Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars as their end, and they were trying to figure out what came before that, leading up to it. But I don't know why they chose to wait this long, knowing Secret Wars was the end goal. And you can't really do that story without Doom. So they had to have introduced him at some point, and I think Black Panther Wakanda Forever would have been the perfect spot to do that. Having Doom be the one to instigate that war between Talokan and Wakanda. So,
it might have been a bit better film.
So yeah, that's what they should have done if he was supposed to come out like the entire time. I don't know how he would have done Secret Wars just with Kang. Obviously, he's in that story in the original one, but he's just a guy with Doom that Doom ends up like kicking him to the side after he gets what he wants, basically. Which
it's just like used as a pawn sort of thing.
Yeah, which they could have done. They could have had Kang look like, oh, I'm like the most powerful villain ever, and Doom comes in, he's like, nope, and like just takes him out, and then Doom takes over. But then at that same time, like you don't really get the same kind of build up with him. Like he's just instantly a big threat without knowing why he's the big threat. So yeah, I'm very curious if they'll ever talk about that. Like, at what point did they switch the idea over to Doom? And I think we'll maybe find out leading closer to Doomsday.
Yeah.
But they've been very secretive about all that with Kang and how they've dealt with that. So yeah, that's just my thoughts.
It's probably still a sort of a touchy subject sort of thing.
Yeah.
With it being not so recent, but being within the last year or so, they probably want to wait for it to die down till when you get to like Doomsday and Secret Wars, and then they might explain, well, actually, we decided to split off in such and such and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't think you're gonna find out for a couple of years yet.
Yeah. We'll go to the next one. Which character would you most want to see Doom have a 1v1 fight with?
Oh. Well, my first thought's Doctor Strange. Because I know in the comics they've like tussled some rotten with, but they have also teamed up. So I'll be very interested to see, like we've just been saying with the Icebreaker as well, I'd be very interested to know if Strange knew this was coming. If Strange knew this was coming, surely he'd have to prepare himself in like other films or while he's been off camera and stuff, ready to be able to deal with him when it comes to that point, sort of thing. So yeah, my first thought straight off the bat, Doctor Strange, because having two powerful like magical beings just go hell for leather at each other,
Yeah.
I think it'd be so good now, because it was just look at them action sequences you think of between them.
I'm just thinking the fight between Doctor Strange and Thanos in Infinity War. You can have that level of a fight between them, and that would be so cool.
On a 10 times bigger scale, I think. Even though that was good, it'd just be even more immense with them two.
And that's where you establish him as even more powerful than Doctor Strange. That'd be awesome.
He has been technically confirmed as the Sorcerer Supreme, isn't he?
In the new comics, he was just named the Sorcerer Supreme. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but he's never been thingied in the films, then, has he? Is he?
In the movies, no.
Yeah, no. So he's never still been technically called the Sorcerer Supreme. So
you mean like Doctor Strange or Doom?
No, Doctor Strange. Sorry.
Yeah, Doctor Strange isn't the Sorcerer Supreme anymore in the movies because Wong took over when he was snapped.
Yeah, that was it.
But in the comics, Doom is now the Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. Damn.
So
it just shows you as well. Just
he's that powerful.
So good. Exactly. It'd be so good.
For me, I was thinking Doctor Strange, but I think him and Magneto having a fight would be really cool.
Oh, yeah, but surely, if you're having a fight with Magneto now, all Magneto's just got to go is just crumple him up.
Yeah, but does Doom have some kind of metal alloy that his suit's made out of?
Yeah, that's true.
He knows, like, he's got everything up there, and he's got a fail-safe for everything. So maybe he's put a spell on him where he can't be crushed. Because
of course.
You know, Magneto easily could just do that, and then Doom's like a ball. But I think he has like plans for everyone. If anyone was to come after him, I think he has. Yeah, I know how to get rid of them. I know how to get rid of them. Like, he's almost like Batman. Like, he knows exactly how to take down almost everyone just because that's how smart he is.
Here's a question for you then. Cause I don't know whether they actually have or not. I've not seen it myself. But has Doom ever had a fight with the Scarlet Witch?
I'm sure he has, but that's a really good one too.
I see. You think about the sheer power of them two going at each other.
And that leads into a rumor I saw.
Does it?
I can pull it up here. So I saw this, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. That I don't know if you remember, but that took away my screen for you.
Nope, I don't.
Okay, that's gonna be an issue. I might still be able to see, but okay. If you're watching my stream, Doctor Strange's face just took over Dwayne's box.
I wish I was that powerful.
Let's see if I can pull it down here. Did that switch? Okay, yeah, it's good now. Okay, so there's a theory that in Multiverse of Madness, when you see the Illuminati's chairs, all of them have someone in it except one on the very end.
Right.
And someone had a theory that missing person was Doctor Doom.
No.
Because in this universe, something's happened where Doom maybe has to align with the heroes in order to save the world because incursions are happening.
Oh, okay.
And where is it? In Secret Wars, obviously he used, like in the comic book, he used the Molecule Man to be the conduit to give him his power and to like cast that reality on the world that he was the God Emperor Doom. What if he used the Scarlet Witch as that same kind of character to use her reality changing powers and her like being a Nexus being? She can manipulate everyone like she did in Westview.
Damn.
And use them as a way to say, yep, Doom, he's the one. So he could be using her as the person that is, casting that spell on all of them, making them think that Doom is the most powerful being in the world, in the multiverse too.
So it'd be a similar sort of one of when she was like, No More Mutants sort of thing.
That kind of thing, yeah. It's just he's using her as that power source. Like obviously he'd probably use the power of the Beyonders. That's how he became God Emperor Doom.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she would be the reason why all the heroes have no memory of anything before that.
That'd be good. That'd be really,
Yeah.
really good. That'd be unbelievable in that law.
I just thought that was interesting that they said, what if in that universe Doctor Doom was in that council, but he wasn't there in the movie.
And do you know what? If he was there, do you think they would have had the original Doctor Doom from the Fantastic Four films? I'd have lost my mind if that had have done.
Now, they had John Krasinski's Reed Richards, so maybe they would have had a popular fan cast like they did with him.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have had...
but who?
I don't know. Cillian Murphy has been a really big fan cast for him.
Yeah.
Even Mads
like
Mikkelsen
yourself.
Too, but...
We said like yourself as well, but I don't know whether you're still doing Superman then, like Henry Cavill.
Yeah, but now Deadpool's kind of changed that.
Oh yeah, that's changed for the better now. That is, I want a Henry Cavill Wolverine film all day long, as well as a Channing Tatum Gambit film as well. I want them two films all day long. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so he will always be my pick for Doom, but yeah, Deadpool kind of changed that when they pulled that card, because that was one I wasn't expecting at all.
No.
All right, let's move to the next one. What is your favorite Doom story from the comics?
Oh, Jesus wept. I gotta admit, I did like. I cannot tell you the name. I'm crap with names. I do apologise, but the one he teamed up with Doctor Strange with.
Oh yeah.
It was
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
You mean that, like, don't you? But that storyline, just seeing their dynamic together as well in that lot, was just really surprising. I really enjoyed it. It was something I wasn't expecting.
Triumph and Torment.
That's the one. Yeah, that just seeing their dynamic together and everything, and how they were working, and just like they're not coherent because there was obviously at each other's throats sometimes, but. Just seeing how they was working together, I really enjoyed that, and it was a really surprising, like, take on Doom sort of thing, because I could never see him working with anybody. Now, I've always just seen Doom, bad guy, big boss man sort of thing, and just that's it sort of thing. So having a different take on him like that, it was really good. So I've got to see that one because I just like seeing different takes on people.
Yeah, and. That's the one where he's using Strange to help him get to Mephisto to save his mother. So that's tapping back into his origin and how desperate he is to save his mother, that he needs the help of Doctor Strange to get her. So yeah, it's a really good one. For me, I'm split between 2015 Secret Wars and the Books of Doom. His origin story from Ed Brubaker. I actually did a video covering that origin last week. So if you haven't seen that, check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Because I never knew anything pre-Reed Richards with his family and that sort of thing. I didn't know nothing about. So that was a really interesting watch sort of thing to know that, because I had no bleeding clue sort of thing properly.
Like if they did a Doctor Doom movie, that's the story I want them to adapt, because that is such it's a tragic origin, but it defines him as one of the smartest and most powerful villains in the Marvel universe, if not the most powerful and smartest, because he goes through so much in it. It shows from childhood to being the ruler of Latveria, so it covers a big part of his life and shows you how much he's been through and how much he's earned that that title with what he's gone through. Like his entire family dies. There's a dictator that's ruled his country for years. When he went back to the United States and he came back after his accident, and he becomes Doom and takes over that dictatorship and then solidifies himself as, yeah, I'm the guy. I'm the ruler of Latveria.
See, I never even realised there was anybody else before Doom in Latveria now. Like, I always just thought Latveria's Doom. So that's all I'd ever known properly. So that was really interesting. That one.
Yeah, it's really good. And it covers up to, like, it's like Doom is telling the story about himself through it. But it goes up until, I think it was just when he tries again to communicate with Mephisto to save his mother. I think that's where it goes up to. I can't remember exactly, but it covers a big part of his life. Which MCU project do you think will start building up to Doom? Like, which one will start mentioning him or start to build up to he's coming?
Myself, I'd want it to start next week. To be honest,
Yeah.
I'd want it like. I know Agatha all along's coming along, and I'd been chipping a few things there, and I'd just to have something mention him, something big coming out lot, because like we've said it on countless streams. They need time to build him up. You can't rush Doom.
Yeah.
You can't just mess him up. But if it's not going to be any time soon, it's got to be Fantastic Four. It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's the only one that makes sense to have him in as well, sort of thing. You can't really have him in Thunderbolts. There's no real make sense there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You can't really have him in Captain America: Brave New World. You can't really have him in Agatha.
No.
You can't really put him in any of the animation.
Or even
films,
Daredevil. Like,
yeah,
you can't do that.
The only logical sense is the Fantastic Four, because it is one of the most important like families and stuff that is connected to him as well, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So he's got to come in this time next year. We need to see him in that film.
Yeah.
Just got to.
That's where they either establish him as he's already Doom, like he's already been Doom for a bit, or this is where they introduce, like they show him becoming Doom, which I don't know if that's the best choice, because if the Fantastic Four are already that team and it's like their year 2 or whatever as the team, then it doesn't make sense for Doom to be just starting to become Doom now.
No.
I think he's already become Doom and he's disconnected himself from them. And I really want to see, I think this would be awesome, a scene where they have to go to Doom to ask him for help in taking down Galactus, or at least give them a hint, like something like, Victor, like, we need your help, and he'll be like, why should I help you, like that kind of thing. That I think seeing that scene and getting that establishment between Reed and Doom, like their rivalry, in a scene like that, and showing his connection to all of them in that same time, I think that would be really good.
I think as well, with someone like that, you wouldn't want like a whole like backstory thing going off and how they was all come together in college and this and the other sort of thing. But I would like little flashbacks of why they were so like tense at each other's throats and they're trying to outsmart each other and outwit each other, sort of thing. I would like little flashbacks like that. But yeah, that's a scene where they're, because I know it's a really daft one to reference, Hello, but the variant they've got in Fortnite of Doctor Doom is just unbelievable. And like, there's some of the trinkets he's got of the characters he's taken down.
I was playing that the other day, and I went up this like big staircase, and in a case, I don't know if you've seen this meme, but he's got like a conch, and Namor is telling him like, don't blow the conch or something like that, and then Doom's like, Doom will toot as he pleases, like it says toot toot.
Oh,
I found that in the case. I'll see if I can find it.
Oh yeah, I ain't seen that lot. It's just saying enough before we come on live and that lot. I was just playing with my little sister and everything that lot. So
Okay. This image has taken over that box again.
my little box again.
So he's saying, do not use it, fool. Dr. Doom does as he pleases. And then he's got the conch. I'll see if I can send it to you
brilliant.
here.
Yeah.
There, you can see that then.
Oh, I've got to have a look at that because that was just so bleeding funny. Do you know? Oh, yeah, because that was Namor's thing in the case as well.
Yeah, so I found that in one of the towers in Castle Doom. I was like, wait, is that what
so
that is? And it was.
See, I never knew whose that was. And I was going around all these different trinkets and stuff, and I saw that, and there was people were saying, well, it's Namor's. I'm like, how's Namor ever had someone like that sort of thing? And now it makes sense.
Yeah, it's been a meme for a bit.
Oh, I never noticed that, to be honest. but yeah, see, having a very knife so overpowering and stuff like that sort of thing. He knows how to take down Galactus.
Yeah.
So why can't this variant know how to take him down as well now? It'd be just so like, it'd be so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Have your thoughts developed on Robert Downey Jr.'s casting?
My thoughts have been all over the shop with it, to be honest, because I just want to know how, like we just said, I want to know when they're going to bring him in, if he's going to be like a variant of like Tony, like you said, the rumors are supposed to be. Is he going to be just Victor? Is he going to be Doom straight away? Is he going to be like building up to Doom? I just don't know. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really excited to see him play Doom. But that first, it's going to be an amazing first bit, because that first moment where if he turns around or if he like takes his mask off and stuff like that, that first reaction of seeing him as Doom, I'm just hoping he doesn't play it as cocky and as witty and stuff like that as Tony.
And I think he knows that. I think he knows the character is different from Iron Man. That he's not like the whole like witty, sarcastic humor. Like, this is a guy that's been through a lot, and he's like full on serious. I was just thinking about this before we went on. The scene in Civil War when he finds out that Bucky killed his parents. The amount of seriousness he has in that scene, like don't you lie to me, Rogers, like that kind of emotion he has. I think that's what he'll tap into for Doctor Doom.
Yeah, massively. That's probably a really good shout as well, because of how intense he is in some of them bits as well in Civil War, going after Bucky and then just wanting an answer and everything like that. If he could work that around into Doom, like he can't have no jokes, he can't have no messing around, anything like that. He's just serious. He knows his goal. That's what he's got to be, sort of thing.
Like, I've done a video on it, but I think he can do it. It's just the execution. That's what I think we need to see, is how are you going to make this work after he played Iron Man for 11 years? Because if you undo his sacrifice in Endgame and it ends up not working out, then you're going to be watching Endgame and seeing that moment, and you're going to be thinking, oh, they messed it up. It's not going to have that same kind of weight anymore. No. At least if you watch it in a like connected sense. If you watch it alone, you might you'd react as if you did in 2019. But seeing that and knowing in your head this guy played Doctor Doom and it didn't work out, I think that's going to taint that moment for like however long that movie is relevant. But it, like, the Russos know the character, they know the story. I think they can do it in a way that honors the character but pleases the fans. It's just I need to know how they're going to make that work.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Alan.
Yeah,
It's like we know they're amazing directors and everything, and we know that they have got normally their finger on the pulse, so they
yeah,
know if something's not working or if something's wrong, they'll change it. They'll have a workaround. They'll prove you to go, no, don't worry, this is what it is.
yeah.
You're all good. You're right. We're in good hands, sort of thing. So I'm just like, didn't he say before he took the role he read a load of Doctor Doom comics and
He looked into the
like
character and he says
yeah
he's playing Victor.
yeah.
So that's promising, but then in that sense, is it a Victor that was Tony? Like that's the whole thing. There's so many different versions now, especially because he played Iron Man, people are looking into the Iron Man turning into Doom stories where he assumes the name of Victor. So I don't know.
But
We'll
I
have to
mean,
see.
he can say he's playing Victor all day long, but like stories where he's Tony, but just calling himself Victor.
Yeah.
It don't help. It really don't help. But it just next year can't come quick enough. Really can't because
Yeah.
we just need to see him there. We need the first appearance, and we need to see that first image of him.
Yeah. Next one. If you could have any other actor play Doom in the MCU, who would it be?
In the MCU?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. There's a few, to be honest. Right, the two that come to my head first. Again, I'll have to go by MCU names because the actors are just totally crap with. Is first off, what's his name? The villain in the first Doctor, not Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, I think he'd be an amazing Doom. That like
Yeah.
he just plays villains really good.
Yeah.
He's just so good at it.
He's got the
The
presence.
second one, yeah, massively outlaw. Second one, it might surprise you with this one, to be honest. So I don't know, but I quite like him as a villain as well. Again, and the Red Skull.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, I think he'd be a really interesting Doom as well, sort of thing. I think he could play it really, really well on that law.
I don't like that's the one that I don't think he would at all, but I think
Oh, really?
at a time I think he actually would have, yeah, he would have been a good one. Like around when he was doing the Matrix and that. If they made a
yeah.
Fantastic Four around that time. Yeah, I think he would have been a pretty good Doom. He'd have to get jacked for it, but
Oh yeah, of course not. But I think like you say that, yeah, taking him like when he was at his peak interest sort of thing during the Matrix films and stuff, having him then now as Doom, I think it'd be really, really good. It'd be a really interesting take on him as well. That lot,
yeah.
Really good.
No, for me, like Mads Mikkelsen, obviously, like he's a big pick because he is good at playing villains. He's a great actor, and he's European, which people want for the actor, because it's
sort
accurate
of helps,
to the character.
sort of thing. Yeah.
I had the name in my head and it went away. There's one that I could see going either way. His name is Luke Evans. I could see him playing Mr. Sinister, and I could see him play a Doom.
Ooh, okay.
I think he'd be good as both. Obviously, he wouldn't play both at the same time, but
yeah.
he, like, if you saw him, he looks like Mr. Sinister. Just you need to make him pale and give him the red eyes. But he's really good at playing those kinds of roles too. So yeah, those two for me would be who I'd want. But in a perfect world, I'd say Henry Cavill, but that's not going to happen anymore. So yeah,
I'd just loved to seeing him just some sort of version of him.
Yeah.
Like when we did the Forge Your Own MCU, your picture of him was just yeah. It was just Doom. That was Doom.
like he looks the part. So
Yeah.
in your mind,
Thanks, Deadpool.
it was still good in Deadpool. It's just it's ruined any
Oh,
chance of him becoming that character.
oh yeah, massively.
In your mind, how would you ideally introduce Doom into the MCU? If this was up to you, how would you do it?
How what? So not going from anything that's coming up or anything like that. It was like, how would you start him?
Just like either previously or in like an upcoming thing. How would you do it in the best way?
Right, for a start off, I'd have brought the Fantastic Four straight in after the Infinity Saga. I'd have had that as the first film after the Infinity Saga, and then I'd have had him not slowly going nuts, but you'd see him slowly building up his power and slowly manipulate him and like taking people out and like just becoming to that almighty powerful character sort of thing. But yeah, my first thought, I'd have had Fantastic Four, Infinity Saga's all done, and then boom, there's your new family into the MCU. There's the Fantastic Four. They was there all along in the other Avengers films, but they didn't have the powers, and then bang, and then away you go from that sort of thing. That's where I'd bring him in. I think they needed to bring him in way sooner than they did. I know it was all the kerfuffle with the rights and all that malarkey and stuff, but if they could have sorted that out a lot sooner, there, because it just worked. It had just worked a lot. And then I know we're going off topic there, but then I'd had like halfway through this phase the X-Men, and then go from that sort of thing. That's where I'd have brought him in, because I don't want him to rush him. I really don't. Really don't.
If they had the rights at the time, I think having Fantastic Four in Phase 4 would have been perfect for them.
Yeah.
That's when you start building them up across 3 phases in that saga instead of just having them in the last one. But we can't deal with that now because the rights were acquired halfway through. But yeah, for me, I'd have to say not necessarily through the Fantastic Four, but if you had him as, like, I've seen a video on this and I think it's brilliant, that Sokovia was Latveria at one point.
Oh,
and
that'd have been interesting.
So after Age of Ultron, Victor returns to Sokovia and he sees like it's been ruined from Age of Ultron, and he uses that time to build it back up to a utopia in his image and be that messiah for the people, and then bringing it back to its name before the Soviet Union took over Sokovia and bringing it back to Latveria. I think that would have been
nice.
a really, really smart, and like it would have worked perfectly if they did that.
Yeah.
And like have him, like, because in the books of Doom he travels to Nepal and he becomes Doom. Like the monks train him in sorcery and all that. And I think if you had him come back to Sokovia, change it into Latveria, and he sees, oh, there's all these leftover like robots from Ultron. What if I made them my own peacekeeping army? I think that would have been a really good way to bring him in, and then have him pop up in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever as the one that starts that conflict. I think that was a missed opportunity. Instead of having Val be the one that was like causing tensions by trying to extract that vibranium, I think if Latveria was behind that, that would have easily told you that he's after it for his suit. That's what he's after it for.
Yeah, that'd have been so. I didn't even think of that, to be honest, because it makes, like you said, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That's the start of his Doom boss.
because
That was
there's
so
no
nice.
mention of Sokovia after Age of Ultron. Like, you don't see it again
No.
after that. So you could have him, like, you start that movie with this guy walking through there, and he sees, like, there's a big hole in the ground. And he can use the abandoned Hydra base as his Castle Doom and build it up. Oh man,
Oh.
I want that now.
Oh, that would be so good. Oh,
Yeah, so that's how I would bring him in, with
yeah.
that story that they had up to that point.
Mm.
What would be your 2 dream scenes with Doom in the MCU, and what kind of scenes would they be? Like a post-credit scene, a battle scene, like a character development scene. What kind of scenes, and 2 of them?
My first one, straight off the bat, and that lot. You remember how we first saw Thanos in his throne thing? Sort of, as he's turning around and he's just
Oh yeah,
there, sat in his chair. I'd love to see probably like a post-credit scene, something like that, but
like,
just
to challenge
his
them would be to
chair.
court death, and then he turns
Yeah,
around and smiles like
yeah,
that. Oh,
yeah. I'd just have a Doom just turning around in his chair, or like the regalia of a massive like old Victorian like
big
vampire
Latvian
chair.
flags.
Yeah, yeah. And just
Oh,
having Doom sat there like just turning around, just a little, not even a smirk, just you see the mask and it's just like the eyes just piercing through. That would be a first good one. I'd really like to see that. Um, Second one, I'd like it. I'd hoped something like this would happen, but I'd like him to kill one of the heroes.
which one?
This is the thing. This is what I'm trying to think.
If he does, it has to have a big impact to
This
say,
is what I
"Oh,
mean.
this guy he's not messing
Thi-
around."
This is what I mean. So my first 2, one's probably not as big as the other one, but my first one is probably because I've been playing too much Fortnite. Is I'd love to just see him just like decimate the thing,
The thing.
just put a hole in his chest, or ripping his arm off, or just something. Seeing all the scales of his arm just gone, and it's just all just manky flesh and blood, and just sort of thing on his arm or chest or some other thing, or like I don't know, because I want to change my mind again. But right, I'll give you 2 more because I can't decide out of either one a lot. Just it'll be gut wrenching because you'd have him in and then be straight back out again. But Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic, just
You want
I
him to
just,
kill him like that
yeah,
soon?
just seeing that, because that would be just like, whoa, dear. I think that would be like really impactful. And like he's finally got the best of Mr. Fantastic and just gone, sort of thing. The other one is it couldn't be obviously the original one, but a variant of Thanos, and just having that iconic
Oh yeah.
spine rip out sort of thing. They're the 3. They're the 3 for me. I couldn't decide out the other 2, but yeah, then they're the 3 in the end.
So for me, my first one would be like an establishing post-credit scene to
Okay.
bring in the character. And if you remember back, I think it was our last one or the one before, I thought of this as we were talking, and I think I mentioned it, and we just went over it like in a minute. It wasn't like a big discussion, but this is how I envision it. Like, you have a shot of, like, it's like a battle damaged like environment. Like, there's fire, rubble everywhere, and there's a shot of multiple heroes lying dead in that environment.
I remember you do say this.
And there's a shot of one raising their hand, like trying to get up, and a green blast just fires down on them and finishes them. And then the green cape blows past. And then from behind, you see the metal boots walking past, all like the dead bodies through there in the rubble, approaching some stair steps. And he goes up the steps, and as he's turning around, he's like wiping his hands. And he sits down on the throne, and he looks up, and you see it's like that's the mask right there. I think that would be
That
so
would be
good. And then
good.
just cut to
Yeah.
black. Like, as soon as he looks
Yeah.
up, cut to black.
That's the same with Mark. You know when he's turning that lot, he's turning. You see the mask, see the eyes, gone, cut to black.
And that's where you show like a destroyed Captain America shield, Mjolnir, Iron Man helmet, like Spider-Man, like his arm or something like that. That could be like in a universe where he won, and I think that would be a really good post-credit scene to say, okay, so this is the guy that's going to be taking on our Avengers. I don't know if that's going to go so well for them. So that's my first one. My second one would be Doom versus multiple heroes, like similar to the sequence of Thanos versus the heroes on Titan. Like a one-er shot, like focusing on Doom in the center, and all these different heroes are coming after him from all angles, and he's just like blocking them, like firing blasts at them, just like spinning around him and seeing him in the center and all these heroes coming after him, and he's just like, get out of here, go, like you're done, like just getting rid of all of them. I think that would be really cool, like showing he can go against that many people at one time. Especially because the Avengers have a lot of powerful people now, like Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange. Like if he can put up with both of them at the same time, I think the Avengers are kind of screwed.
Just a bit.
So yeah, those are the two scenes that I would want to see. I just want to see some badass moments with him. I hope.
Yeah.
It's not like he's sending his army out to do the work for him and he's just at the top of the castle and everyone's trying to get to him. I want to see him do some dirty work and like...
Yeah, you want him to see him do what Ultron did when he was like proper in there and battling stuff. You don't want all these Doom or like Ultron bots just going around and flying around sort of thing. You want him to really kick ass basically. Sort of thing. That's why I want a hero's death. Yeah,
we need to see him kill at least 3 people.
Jesus, what?
Yeah.
I was going for 1 or 2. No, it would take a whole battalion out. Christ.
We need to see that this is a guy that is not going to mess around and will do anything it takes to get what he wants. And if those heroes are in his way, he'll say, okay, this isn't what I wanted, but if I have to, I'm going to do it. And then he'll just check the boxes like, this guy's gone, this guy's gone, this guy's gone. And I can get what I want. That kind of thing.
Do you think, right, so if we're going for multiple deaths, do you think it would benefit them to have like a number of variants? Like they're rumoured about having different Spider-Mans come back and stuff like that sort of thing. Would it benefit having multiple variants, or would you want them to be the ones from the MCU getting sort of thing?
Of the heroes?
Yeah.
Because we've been with those specific ones this whole time and built a connection with them, it has to be these ones. If it's a variant, it won't have that same same impact. It has to be one that we've been with since the beginning or since they've been introduced. So, yeah.
Oh, dear me.
Yeah, and I think going into this, the actors are like, okay, I think there's a chance I'm gonna die in this movie. And who knows, like, Doomsday could be when he wipes the floor with them, and Secret Wars could be like Endgame where they come back in the end. But it's, like, I think to make Doom that big of a threat, you need permanent deaths.
Yeah.
Like, people need to stay dead and show, I defeated this guy, and I got rid of these people. Like, that's how you establish him as a threat. If you bring them back, he doesn't look as powerful because you can just bring them back. But... that leads into my next question. Do you think Doom will last beyond Avengers Secret Wars?
Please. Please, yes. Please, he's got to. You can't... there is no way you can just have him for 3, 4 films, whatever it is, and then, oh yeah, he's gone now. We'll reboot the series, and we'll bring in the X-Men, and that's it. Doom is sorted. No, you can't. No, please. Honestly, you've got to have him last longer.
Yeah.
There's so many different things he can be in, manipulate. Just there's so much you can do. You can't just have him just gone after this. Not a chance.
Yeah, and I've said this multiple times. Like, he's a villain that's always a pain in the ass for the heroes. Like, he's a really hard one to get rid of. Like, Thanos, he's powerful, but at a certain point you can kill him and get rid of him, and they did. But with Doom, he knows that these people can do certain things, and Thanos did too, to an extent, but Doom is way smarter than Thanos is, and you've got to assume he's got plans. If people were to kill him, then he's got fail-safes in place. Now, would you say a different actor would play him after Secret Wars? Because personally, I think like Downey can't play him for...
No.
He can't play him for that long. So I think they would recast when they do the reboot or something.
I'd like for them to recast it, but again, there's that thing about just have it as just a different variant if they're going to recast it and stuff like that. But yeah, like you said, Robert Downey Jr. He's not going to. He probably wouldn't be able to afford it to cost him to be doing it so many times. Because Christ, man, I dread to think how much money he's bleeding on. Crying out loud.
Yeah, jeez.
But he's when that reboot happens, however they're going to do it, or incursion or whatever sort of thing, they've got to have a different sort of act of him.
Yeah.
Got to that lot.
That's when you bring in the fresh cast for everyone. There's got to be everyone is new. Like new Steve Rogers, new Tony Stark, new T'Challa. Maybe keep like some of the younger ones, like maybe Daphne Keane stays as X-23, maybe.
Yeah.
By then I think Tom Holland would be like older to play Peter Parker. They'd probably have to recast him. But like Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel, you could probably keep her.
Yeah. What's the name? It's Kate Bishop.
Haley Steinfeld, yeah.
Yeah. Like them young Avenger ones, them have got to stay. Surely you can. I'd even keep what's his name was Captain America, that lot, Falcon.
Anthony Mackie, I think he'd be done after that.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I don't think he can play it that much longer. Like, obviously he'll play it until the end of Secret Wars, but if they reboot, I think they recast like 80% of their characters and keep the younger ones that could, last for, I don't know, 5 to 10 years after that. Because if they're gonna develop those stories with the new characters, you either have, like, the X-Men are young, they're middle-aged. Fantastic Four, they might have a new cast for them too, even though they were just introduced. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting when we get to the reboot.
If you're gonna reboot so much, then would you have if Sam's not gonna play Captain America anymore, would you finally keep Booker and have him as Cap?
I think in the reboot they'd go back to Steve.
I want Booker. I so want Booker as Cap.
I think new Steve Rogers, new Tony Stark. I think that's what they're gonna go for. But who knows? And make that the established universe too. I don't know if you need origins anymore. Just like have them already as the heroes and doing their missions, that kind of thing.
Mm.
Because we've spent it's like almost, well, as of now it's been 16 years, but by the time they get to that, it'll be like 20 years since Iron Man came out, and like it's like we've seen these people's origins. I don't know if you need to do that again.
Yeah.
It's like Batman, like we've seen it. We know how he became Batman. And same with Spider-Man, like we know how he became Spider-Man. And as good as it is to see different interpretations of those origins, at a certain point they're overdone because like we know the story. Like they're the most popular superheroes of all time. We don't need to rehash this all the time because it's that popular.
Yeah, I think that's where they went well with Spider-Man No Way Homecoming.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have no origins or anything like that, so they didn't get bit by a spider.
Yeah. He
was Spider-Man. That's what they've got to do. Just, they're in. Off you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope Doom lasts beyond Secret Wars. Like, he has to be there for a long time.
Yeah,
and
massively.
I don't know if you bring him in right away, but you could say he's there and like maybe he's manipulating something else for a big villain that's causing problems. I don't know.
But like you said, he used the Phoenix Force to kill Cyclops. So
No,
if they're going to
Cyclops
bring in,
had the Phoenix Force,
oh, so right,
and he killed him. Yeah, when
with it like
Cyclops
that.
had it. So,
Like I say, if they're going to bring in the X-Men like after the Secret Wars, you could easily have him, I don't know, manipulating some of them sort of thing, and mess around with that sort of thing. 'Cause
imagine him with
again,
Professor X.
that's what I mean.
That'd be interesting. My last one I have is, what are your hopes for the future of Doctor Doom in live action?
Oh, he's got to be menacing.
Yeah.
He's got to be a almighty figure and force. My overriding thing that I keep coming back to, and it's over and over again: do him well, do him correctly, and don't piss around with him. Basically, that's what I'm so frightened of. To be honest, I want to see him just kick ass, be domineering and frightful, and just be an almighty wow sort of thing.
Yeah. He has to be bigger than, like, you thought Thanos was a big guy? No, Doom has to be bigger than that.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
He has to establish, like, I will do anything to get what I want. If you get in my way, you're done. And I hope past Secret Wars, like we just said, I hope they keep him. And maintain that presence. Like, he's a powerful guy, you don't want to mess with him. And they don't just downgrade him to some, like, I don't know, like in the Solo movies, their villains don't feel as big because they're not in Avengers movies.
Yeah.
I hope they don't downgrade him to just that. Like, he has to be a presence that, if needed, the heroes have to come together to stop this one guy. Like,
Oh, massively. Even if like after Secret Wars now, like, you send him back to Latveria. So just let him have there, let him stew, like building more concoctive things and
throw his
God knows
temper
what
tantrum
sort
in
of
his
thing.
castle and let him
Exactly.
like,
And then
plan his next thing. That's what you need to do.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the only way you're going to get into Latveria is by like infiltrating it or something like that sort of thing.
And even that
So
would
there's
be
no-
hard.
Exactly. So there's no point to even trying to attempt that sort of stuff. So you just like leave him be, and then like let him, connect with other villains or stuff like that sort of thing, and then later down the line you bring him back again as this other, like working alongside this other big bad and stuff like that. That's what you'd want from him.
Yeah. There's an episode of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I think it's the first one of season 2. It's called The Private War of Doctor Doom. And in that episode, it perfects how how Latveria works. Like, the Avengers and Fantastic Four just come in and storm his castle, and they're like, Doom, you need to stop what you're doing. And he's just like, you guys are trespassing. I'm fighting you because you guys are trespassing. But
He's got a point.
It's so, like, it perfects the character in that episode, and his voice in that show is perfect. I don't know if you've heard it, but the voice actor and the way they like manipulated the voice and post, it sounds perfect for Doctor Doom, and he's got the accent too.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, I recognize it now.
So I highly recommend checking out that episode to see like what Doom could do if the heroes like went through that, because he's like throwing the Hulk around like he's nothing. Like, he picks him up and throws him out the wall. He like, I think he gets rid of the Human Torch's flames in some way. Like, I think he kidnaps Wasp and Invisible Woman, and he's experimenting on them because in that season was the Secret Invasion season. So in that episode, he knows about the Skrulls, but no one else knows at that moment because Doom is that smart. He knows.
Yeah.
But he took the two of them because one of them is a Skrull, and at the very end it reveals who it was.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm gonna have to re-watch these again. I can't remember any of that.
It's really, really good.
Well, here's a question for you then, because you sort of just thought of it now. With Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom and everything, do you think they will modify his voice?
I hope so.
I've got him in there, surely.
I think they will, and that's going to be like, obviously we know it's Robert Downey Jr. playing the character. They won't recognize the voice, but when he takes the mask off, they're going to be like, oh, it's him. That kind of thing. And that's the other thing. How disfigured are they going to make him look?
Oh, they've got to make him bad. Surely not. I want burns on his face, scars.
But then at that point, it's kind of hard to recognize him as Robert Downey Jr. Because at that point, what's the point in taking the mask off if you still don't recognize him?
Yeah.
Like, even if it's a little cut on his cheek, he's going to be like, I need to wear this mask because that shows how, like, vulnerable I am. Like, that's how imperfect I am.
Shows a weakness.
Yeah. That's his ego there. He needs to hide that because he doesn't want to show his weakness and all that. Because you know they're going to show his face more than he's going to be wearing the mask.
Oh, yeah.
They did it with Iron Man, so... That's what... That's
the sheer disappointment in your face there.
Well, Iron Man was good. Like we saw him enough times. We got the balance, but I don't think we're gonna see enough of Doom to get both the balance between him and the mask and him without it. And I don't know the reasoning on why he would take it off. Like,
there
has to be a reason why he takes it off, and obviously it's because Downey's playing him. He's gonna want his face shown in the movie, but yeah, you need to fit it in the story in some way that works.
Yeah. Well, in the comics, don't he heal his face?
Yeah,
to make him look
in the first Secret Wars, he uses the Beyonder's powers to fix himself.
Yeah, so that's where you might see a bit there. Because to me, I'd want him to start off in the mask and just have the voice tainting and everything like that. So if you're not going to show how he become anything, you want him as Doom already, a mask on, voice manipulated, sound all creepy and that lot, and then if he's going to get power and like make himself like uber boober strong sort of thing, then he can fix his face. Then you reveal the face mask coming off, and oh my lord, it's sort of thing. But
I just thought of something and it just slipped my mind. Oh, I was gonna say, is he gonna have the Tony Stark goatee, or is that gone?
Oh, it's got to be gone.
Yeah,
it's got to. You can't. Not unless you're gonna make it so blatantly obvious. It's like, oh, I'm a variant of Tony. And like, oh, look at this sort of thing. You can't. You don't want no like similarity to anything like that. Just get that out of there.
Yeah.
You do. Take the mask off. You just. If you want to look like Tony, a few marks with no goatee, no similar resemblance of what that is.
Yeah.
You don't want it.
Yeah, if they do that, then that's a red flag right away. So yeah, that's all the questions I've got. I don't know if you want to add anything based off the notes you had, but...
No, I'm literally just literally worked it quite nicely in that line. I threw my questions there when we were chatting on anyway. So yeah, I'm all good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
that was very, very intensely chatted about. So
yeah, we went over a lot. So anyone watching or will be watching, obviously on my channel, I've been doing some Doctor Doom content lately, so there will be more of that. And this is going to be like an ongoing thing we're going to discuss in each episode. Like, we're in his era now. Doom's going to be talked about like all the time leading up to him coming into the movies and even when he is in the movies. So yeah, lots of Doom coming soon.
Massively.
So yeah, was there anything you wanted to promote on your channel before we head out?
So tonight we have got a different take on Marvel Madness Fortnite, and it is another solos one, but this time me and Eleanor Raccoon are tag teaming solos. So we're having one solo for me first, and then one solo for Rocket Raccoon and Eleanor. So you can see how much of a backseat gamer I am, because I cannot watch somebody else play without just getting the controls myself, because yeah. 7:30 UK time, you'll see that tonight and everything. And obviously on Friday we'll have the next episode of Lego Marvel Avengers. So yeah.
Nice. For me, I don't have anything coming up like in the future as of now. I'm developing the Doctor Doom and Secret Wars 1984. So that will be coming at some point. I just haven't got around to recording that. So stay tuned for that. But last week I had myself covering his origin from the books of Doom. So go check that out. And yeah, subscribe to both channels. We have our channels under us on my stream, and then he has links on his. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. This was a really great chat, and we will see you next week, where we will be answering some fan questions from our audience about some Marvel related things and some DC things to kind of shake it up a bit. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to both. We do again have a Discord, so you can join Project Assemble Discord. We'll have that linked somewhere, so you can check that out. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. So thank you for joining.
See you, guys. Thank you.